In this lesson, we'll set up our project and begin merging our channels together. So I've just opened up a new script here, and let's go into our project files and just drop in our Mustang all-channel EXR. So let's take a look at this now. So in the last lesson, we took a look at all the various channels in here. So now let's begin by setting our project settings. So we can go up to Edit, Project Settings, and the one thing we really want to do is we want to change the full size format. Because right now this node is 920 by 760, but our full size format is 640 by 480. So if we go in and add in any Beziers or any image nodes, it's going to use this size instead of the size we want. So let's drop this down, go to New, which was cut off at the bottom of my screen, and let's just call this Mustang. And so we want this file size to be 920 by 760. Which is the size of our read node. Now, of course, if you were outputting this for another format, you'd want to choose and set the width and height to that format. So with that done, let's click OK, and now let's begin compositing. So as usual, we're going to need to use some merge nodes to composite this. So the channel workflow is very similar to a workflow with multiple read nodes. So let's add in a merge node. So let's go over here to our toolbar, add in a merge, and let's connect both the A and the B to our EXR file. Now, why did we do that? Well, over here in our tool or our node properties, we can change the channels that are being extracted from our node. So instead of using the RGB and RGB for both channels, let's change the A channel to our indirect. And now let's press 1 to take a look at this. So what we have here now is we're extracting, or we're taking one of the channels and then overing it the other channel. Now, of course, if we remember our indirect, we don't want this result. So what we need to do is we need to change our operation to multiply, and that will darken our image based on the A channel. So our B channel is being darkened by our A channel. So this gives us this nice shadowing effect and this almost ambient occlusion effect on various parts of our car. Now, what did we just do? Did we overwrite the Mustang indirect channel? What did we do just now? Well, all we did was take the indirect channel and apply it to our RGBA channel. So if we look at our indirect channel, we can see that it's still here, not changed at all. But if we look at our RGBA, it's changed from our original input. So if I wanted to keep this exact channel, I'd have to shuffle copy it or write it to a separate channel because currently I've lost this data. Or more specifically, I've overwritten it with some different data inside of my merge node. Now I know I'm not going to really need this later on, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. And we can always put another node in between our read node and this first merge to edit this channel. So with that done, let's take a look at our merge again. And let's just rename this. So let's call this indirect multiply, just so we can remember what this is. And so now let's add in another merge node to bring in our reflection. So I'm pressing the M key, and let's just connect A and B up to this multiply. And let's take a look at this again. And now instead of using the indirect, we want the A channel to be our Mustang reflection. And as you can see, this adds it on to our car. Now it's darkened up quite a bit of our image here, and we really don't want that. We just want to use the brightness values from our reflection pass. So let's change the operation from over to screen. What that will do is it'll change it so that instead of darkening this image, it's going to brighten this image. Now you might not have seen much of a change, but we're going to go back and color correct this in a few minutes to sort of balance this out. Because if we take a look and if we disable this last merge node by pressing the D key, we can see we've brightened up our image quite a bit, especially in this paneling area here where we might not have any reflections. So if I keep pressing D, we can see that the reflection pass was too bright. So let's go in and take a look at that channel and see what we need to fix. So let's go up here and go take a look at our reflection. So usually reflection passes have a black background or a black object and then the reflection on top. But as we can see here, we have a gray car. Now this might run into some issues. So let's go in the next lesson and color correct this to remove all of these gray values. So we're no longer brightening the entire car, but just the areas that have a reflection. So in this lesson, we came in, set our project settings by going to Edit, Project Settings, created a new full format size for our Mustang, and then we used a multiply merge node with both pipes connected into our EXR to multiply our indirect over our color panel or our color channels, and then screen our reflection over our earlier merge node. And so this is what we have right now if we switch back into our RGBA channels. And so we're going to need to go in and color correct just our reflection channel. So we'll go in and figure out how to do color corrections on specific channels without destroying those channels in the next lesson.